Hello, welcome to this class designed with cooling postures in mind. If you're practicing at a time of the day or of the year where it's really rather hot, sometimes you still want to go ahead and practice, but try to be a little bit more nourishing in the ways that you are being taught or that you're practicing, so that you can keep active but also keep cool. And for this reason, most of the postures that we're about to do will either be lying down or seated. So let's start on our backs. And for this you will definitely need a block or a brick or even 2 bricks if you are quite flexible in your back bends. And you may even need a belt. So as you roll yourself down onto the floor, you may start with your legs extended or your feet flat and your knees up. You may have your hands on your belly and feel the breath. Take a little reset button press here for a few breaths, just to check whatever you've been up to so far or whatever is happening afterwards is neither here nor there. Stay in your body. Scan through your body to notice those areas that may need a little bit more support today. When you're ready to open your eyes, bring your knees one at a time in towards the chest, rock from side to side. Maybe take a few circles into the lower back. And then in the other direction. And then from here we can take a few ankle rolls. So bring the knees in line with the hips and then wrist turns as well, circles, by taking the hands up. And just a few circles in one direction and in the other direction. And then take the knees in towards the chest and then start to take some circles with those hips. So you can make those circles fairly small to start with. You take the knees in and out, so you separate them. Then you take them forward and you bring them back together. You can then expand the circumference of those by just taking a bigger circles, and then we'll start in the other direction. So start maybe small and then bigger as you bring the knees forward and separate them, and then in and together. Releasing your feet flat to the floor. And you're going to take the right shin across the left thigh. And then very gently, either with the hand or that's the power of your mind, you're going to move the right knee away. And then you can lift the left leg in, slide the hands either side, so you left hand to the outside of the left leg, right hand to the inside of the left leg, and take the hands, interlacing them behind the thigh. Alternatively, you use your belt for this, where this would be holding so that you don't have to worry so much, but you can certainly feel the stretch somewhere in your body. You can even extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. Try to keep relaxed in your face and your shoulders. Then we'll release the left leg, release the right leg. Feet to about mat width, Arms out, a little bit of windshield wipes, just from side to side, sort of tipping over but not completely down to the floor. So then this becomes a little bit more involving the ribs as well, rather than just the spine twist. Let's try this on the other side. Your left shin comes across the right thigh. The foot is quite loose, so I like to have the ankle bones inside and outside to be hanging off the thigh, so that you can gently press and externally rotate into your thigh and your hip. Choose whether you want to stay here or whether you want to hug the knee in towards the chest, slide the hands or the belt around. If you find that as you do this your head rolls back and you're feeling tense in the shoulders, definitely do use your belt. And then see whether you want to bring the leg up towards the ceiling. Release the foot to the floor, the knee to the floor. You can discard the belt, leave it to the side for now. And then from this, pressing those feet down into the floor, we're going to stretch into the head a little bit, or rather the back of the neck. Interlace the fingers with the elbows up, tuck the chin, and then you can have a brick between your feet so that you are securing your feet down to the floor and you're pressing them in so that then the thighs won't open out too much. Or you can trust that you can keep the big toe mountain, little toe mountain, inhale, outer heel down. Tuck the chin, inhale, and then as you exhale, the hands lift the back of the head, so you simply are stretching the neck. Completely supported by your hands. And then if you want to, you can take both elbows over towards the left, so you're getting a little stretch into the side of the neck, back through to the center and over to the right. Let's come back through towards the center. Release the head down towards the floor. Have that block or brick at hand, or those books, quite thick ones. We're going to go for a supported bridge. So here, for me, probably just one brick on its second height will do. Some of you, it'll be on just the flat surface. Some of you, it'll be on the third one. That depends on your back mobility. I haven't got the most deepest back bend. My back doesn't allow me to do this. So the second setting is sufficient. And here I'm placing it so you have your hip fronts, so your frontal hip bones. You can follow them around and you will feel your pelvic rim. So you want to have the brick supporting you just underneath that. You can roll those shoulders down a little bit if you want to, so you're into your supporting bridge here. You can even extend one leg at a time. Extend one leg for a few breaths and then extend the other leg. Some of you may even be able to extend both legs. I'm only able to show you quickly because my back does not like this. Instead, I'm going to take my right leg back in and then extend my left leg. Take another breath or so. Bring the leg back in. Press onto your feet. Take the belly button, engage it so you're hugging the navel in towards the spine. Press onto your feet, lift, and then release your support. Release the shoulders very, very gently. Allow the back to release. Feet wider than the mat, knees in together. And take a couple of breaths here. Let's now bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. And again here you can take a supported Baddha Konasana or Supta Baddha Konasana, the reclining cobbler's posture. Happy to be here, fine. A little too much in a groin stretch, you can allow those legs to open or to be more of a diamond shape in between the legs rather than a triangle. Some of you will have their heels all the way to the groin. Whatever feels good to you. Take the bricks, maybe if you have them at hand, to the outside. It can be again on any setting for a little bit of support. Close your eyes, you can take your hands to your belly and take about 5 breaths here. If you know and if you've done Shitali breathing, you can take it now if you're curious about it. Try it in one of my tutorials. On your next exhale, you can remove the blocks or the bricks if they were there. Give your inner thigh a little bit of a rubbing here. Take the legs in. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Rock from side to side. Right foot down, you can either take that knee in and then you can slide the hand to the inside so that the upper arm will be in line with, or upper arm or forearm in line with somewhere the elbow of the knee or the thigh. And then you can hold on to the outside of the foot into a happy baby here. Half a happy baby actually. Not happy about that happy baby, and we do want Hapanasana, happy baby, to be happy. You can use your belt here and hold this. Try to keep the right knee in line with the right hip. Take another couple of breaths. Very gently bring the leg back through towards the center, let go of the belt or the hand, and then extend the leg and allow it to flop out. You can even wiggle your toes around. To the other side, so this time my left foot's to the floor, my right knee comes in. I do move the knee out towards the armpit and slide my right hand in to hold the outside of the foot. And I'm aiming to have my right foot facing up towards the ceiling. If you're quite comfortable here, you can also extend the other leg towards the floor as long as it feels good in your body. But you can, of course, use your belt. A few more breaths here. One more breath here. Bring the leg back through towards the center, slide the left leg in, release and extend the right leg forward, allow it to become floppy. Foot to the floor. Let's take the knees in towards the chest. Hug those in. Possibly your feet now come to the floor, toes and heels and knees together. A little bit more core work will involve the shins being parallel to the floor with the knees and the hips in line, or you hug the knees in towards the chest. It will give a different spinal twist at the spine, so it's entirely up to you. Arms out to shoulder height, release the knees over, in my case the left, doesn't matter which one you go first. The toes and heels, aim to leave them together. The knees may separate a little. If you wanted to, you can use a blanket or a brick if there's quite a bit of a gap. If it's under there, again you can use your brick as well. You can gaze to the other side. Nose to the center, knees to the center. Stay in the middle for a couple of breaths. And then move the knees over to the other side. So again, toes and heels remain together. Knees may well separate. Gaze to the other side if that's comfortable. Aim to keep both shoulders to the floor. Nose to the center, knees to the center. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Roll over onto one side. Come back to being onto your hands and knees. Now, if being onto your hands and knees is not conclusive for your knees or too much effort, you can go back and come to the first posture that we did. So that figure of 4 on the floor. Otherwise, we're coming into a pigeon of some sort. So from here, my hands are a little further forward than my shoulders. I'm going to take the right knee behind the right wrist, tuck the back foot, lift the knee and extend it back so that when I look behind me, the knee is in the midline. And actually, for me, my right heel, if I come forward, will touch my left groin. I'm going to leave it here for today because I know that this is going to be enough of a stretch for my thighs. Some of you may be able to roll over onto the side, hold the foot and bring that shin parallel to the front of the mat. Whatever doesn't apply, pressure on your knee is fine. You also may want to have a brick behind here or on the front thigh, whatever feels more accessible and supportive to you. So you're going to lift the chest and then as you exhale, come down. You might be coming down onto your forearms, you might be coming down onto your head. You may well be on your back and doing the figure of 4, leg lifted or not. And then coming back up, tuck the back foot, bring it forward, right knee in line with the left knee, stay here for a couple of breaths. And let's move to the left side, so taking the left knee behind the left wrist, tuck the right foot, extend the leg back a little bit. You may leave that leg into this position, or roll over onto your left hip and bring it any amount forward. have some support of a brick behind the thigh, or actually here may be quite nice as well to keep the back of the hips level. Inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to come forward. Monitor that there is absolutely no discomfort whatsoever with your hip and your knee, your knee. And then gaze back up, come back. Tuck the back foot, bring it back in, take the left knee in line with the right knee. I like to move those legs about a little bit, and I'm going to take a very brief down dog. You don't have to, but it feels right in my body. I'm bending my knees so my head is nearly touching the floor, or so it feels. And then very gently, we're going to finish either against the wall, or you can decide to have your legs up towards the ceiling. So you would come onto your back, use possibly a couple of bricks that you have, place them on top of one another underneath your pelvis, and then you can lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Lucky enough to have a bit of wall at your disposition, this is where we can come to the legs up the wall. Viparita Karani, sometimes known as a healing balm. So the way to come to this would be, and I'll show you from the other side, to keep your hip flush and then take the legs up. Now sometimes you don't get quite to your wall, so you do what is known as a shuffling. You can have the arms out to the side, your legs are up the wall, your face is relaxed. You can let the world go by. The heat rise up whilst you are cooling down. Again, you could use your Shitari breathing. You can stay here or come back into a Shavasana posture. If you're happy here, you can even take the legs a little bit wider if that's comfortable for your inner thighs. It's not uncommon to feel a loss of sensation into your feet because you are inverting the circulatory system, or rather blood flow comes back down. So you can bend your knees if you wanted to and bring the knees in towards the chest. That will allow the circulation to come back slowly into your feet. We're here for another minute or so. If your legs are wide, bring them back up, and then everyone slowly bends the knees in towards the chest. Whether you are in Shavasana or the legs up towards the ceiling, against the wall, hug the knees in, rock from side to side. Gently roll yourself over onto one side, curled up. Let's bring the top hand down to the floor, slowly bringing ourselves back up to a comfortable seated posture. Let's inhale. Release the thumbs to the forehead for kind thoughts, to the lips for kind words, and to the heart for kind actions. I hope you feel a little cooler now. Namaste.